Shalom, shalom. This is Nasika Esther once again, and I am moving in harmony with the Most High. And there's something that I want to discuss. It's the 7 areas of human development. When I was a Christian, this was something that had never been presented to me in quite this way. Since I have been in the Hebrew perspective and understanding who I am, and not so much just perspective, but knowing who I am, knowing my history, and understanding my lineage, the people that I came from, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or Abraham, Yishkak, and Yaakov, as pronounced in Hebrew, or Ivri. I'm going to talk about the 7 areas of human development and how they relate to us today, so that we can be made aware of the areas that our current system is failing in. The areas of human development are economics, communications, religion, education, arts, science, and government. First, let's talk about economics. If we look at the rate of unemployment, the amount of people that are financially dependent on the government, whether it's through food stamps, AFDC, disability, SSI, as well as let's look at the automotive industry, the way that the politics works, that governments assist these companies in buying them out. There are so many different things that transpire where the rich continue to get richer and prosper and the poor continue to get poorer. Let's also look at the real estate situation. Think about being in your home and having lived there for 20 to 30 years, and a situation comes around to where you begin to struggle financially and people come and put you out of your homes. That's not biblical. It is not a heart of love. It is not moving in harmony with the Torah, with the scriptures, the Brit Kadasha, which means New Testaments for those who may not be fluent in the Hebrew language. It makes you wonder and to search the heart of people. And our country and the governments that are in power today are so focused on the dollar, on business principle, and not personal or relationship principle. And so those are just a few areas of where we can see that our economic system is beginning to fail. When you have children who can't get medical treatment the way that they need to because their parents don't have insurance. I think the movie is John Q that had Quincy Jones in it. Not Quincy Jones, forgive me. Denzel Washington in that movie. And he had to do something extreme because his child needed a medical procedure that he couldn't afford to pay for. And so when we look at a system that is put in place to aid those that are wealthy and hinder those that are not, I say that's a place where economics are definitely an issue. Communication. If we look at the areas and the ways of communication, internet, cell phones, all of the toys that we have in today's society, and how it makes the children and people, it puts them in a position to be targeted. We have scams that go on through the internet, through emails, even on Facebook. People hack into your account and start sending stuff from you to your friends, for the dollar value of things. And then we look at the subjection that we're put in. If you're not a technologically inclined person, it kind of can hinder you in a lot of ways, because people that don't have cell phones or that are not good on the internet, it limits what they can do because of the way that society has driven itself for advancement in these areas. We think about pornography. Children are sexting, is what they call it now, to where they're texting and talking about sex, sending pictures of themselves, and there's just, the communication has become so widespread that it really is an area where we have become weak in many areas because of the freedom that is given in that. The other thing is religion. And what I believe and what I walk in is not a religion. It's my culture. It's my heritage. No different than a Asian person um, that lives a certain lifestyle because that's their culture, or a German person living a certain lifestyle because that's their culture. Scottish people, they do the bagpipes and they wear kilts, and there's certain things that they do because it's their culture and their heritage. It's part of who they are. We have been taught that we're African Americans. That is not true. We are Hebrew Israelites. We are living under the curses that the Most High placed on us because of our disobedience to Him. But I'm saying that to say that being a Hebrew is not a religion. It's a lifestyle and it's a culture. The Bible was written by Hebrews for Hebrews, and it's been taken and made into another religion of Christianity. And there's nowhere in the Bible where it talks about being a Christian. Yahusha, also known as Jesus, was a Jew. He wasn't a Christian. So I don't understand how you take the name of a savior and make a whole worldwide religion from that name instead of what he did. Because it's not about forming something from a name, it's about doing what that person did. You know, if you think about it, I mentioned a moment ago about the Asian or culture. They desire to be like their senseis or their teachers in karate and the things that they learn how to do, and they want to idolize, or not necessarily idolize, but they want to learn the behavior of their teacher, the person that is instructing them in the way that they should go. And that is what is most important, that I desire to be like Yahusha or Mashiach rather than to do what someone else tells me that I should do based on the book of teachings that has been written after him. So religion is a big thing because it's a way that we are being held captive. It's a way that they have placed strongholds on our minds. There are many different religions out there that are following falsehood. They're not moving in harmony with the Most High. And my question to those who are not Hebrew, who are of different faiths or religion, would be this. If the Bible is the most greatest sold book in all the world of all time, and if it is being applied correctly to date, why is the world in the state that it is in? We have more homeless people, more poor people. We have people who are being abused, who are being molested. There's corruption in all facets of life. There are people that are sick. We're dying. There's more death at younger rates. We have more obesity, more illness. There are so many things that are going on, and the world is in a worse state today than I remember in my lifetime. I can't speak prior to that, but I can remember my great-grandmother talking about times when people lived in their hundreds, and that was a common thing. But today, you know, people get to be in their 60s or 70s. It's awesome to most people because children are dying at such a young age. The corruptions, the drugs, the gangs, imprisonment, all of these different things that are going on, all of this stems from the wrong application of the scriptures. If I pick up a book and I read that book and it is about German culture, and I think because I've read that book that now that applies to me, and I try to become what's in that book, applying it through my natural understanding that I'm not a German, but I want to be like them, and I think I can apply it based on my knowledge, I'm going to be living a falsehood. It doesn't make me a German just because I read that book, and it doesn't mean that I understand the depths of the things written in that book if I'm reading it from a Hebrew perspective, expecting to apply a different culture. And that is what has happened with the scriptures. It has been read by Gentile people who have translated it by their understanding and believe that they can apply it and gain the benefits of the things in the book. And it has not happened. The world is in a dire situation. The earth is crying out for Yah. People are crying out for Yah. As a Christian myself and my son, and there are other people that I know that are in Christianity that are not seeing results that the book is telling them they should get. And when I say the book, I mean the Bible, the scriptures, because there are promises in there. Yeshua, or Jesus, said, the works that I do, you shall do, and greater than these. But we're not seeing those results today, people. So we really have to begin to dig deep within ourselves and pose the question, where is the breakdown? What is missing that we're not able to apply and move in these things that the Bible is telling us that we should? The other area, number 4, is education. We look at our educational system. If you go to school, you're taught how to pledge allegiance. You can't pray. The educational system is breaking down because it is programming and indoctrinating certain things, and it has removed other things that are essential to life, that is essential to a proper walk with Yah or with God. The educational system teaches people things that perpetuate the systematic way of thinking of this society, that the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, that you have to walk over people to get wherever you need to go by any means necessary, that it's not about personality and being personal with people, that it's just about what it is that needs to be getting done. It's a process. It's not about people. Education is key, because if you are taught the wrong thing, it will affect your life. Let me give an example. Even in our homes, the way that we as parents talk to our children, if one little girl grows up believing that she's a princess, daddy loves her, mommy loves her, that she can be whatever she wants to be, she is being built up spiritually to believe that she can do whatever it is that her heart or that Yah calls her to do. On the other hand, there's a little girl who's told that she's ugly, that she's stupid, that she'll never be anything her whole life. She grows up to believe that. And you have two different girls that turn out as two different people with two different lives because of the things that were spoken over them. And if you don't think education is something that is spoken over you, go sit in a classroom with your child. Listen to the things that they are teaching them, the things that they are speaking over them, because words are important. And if we look scripturally, when Yaakov blessed his children, he gave the wrong blessing to the wrong child. And when he came to him and he said, Father, have you no blessing left for me? The word that had left his mouth had already went out. He couldn't change it. We have to understand that education is a way to indoctrinate and a way to teach people. We are also being taught things through television, through music, all of the areas that the Illuminati are controlling are the ways that we have been indoctrinated. We have been taught as a people that we are less than, that we are not equivalent to other colors. And I'm not making this a racial issue, because as an Israelite, we come in many colors. But this is just what's in my heart to say. We have to understand that we are equal, regardless of what we've been taught. I can remember being in a history class. I was in the 10th grade, and I asked my teacher as we were going over history information, was there no one that looked like me that had created or done something awesome? Because in my book, there was no one that looks like me, that had discovered anything, that had invented anything. And we went through a serious verbatim, and I was told to be quiet, that I needed to quit asking questions, and I got in trouble because I merely wanted to know where was my history. So when we think education doesn't matter, it does matter. And I encourage people to homeschool their children so that you can impart your beliefs, your values, your morals into your children instead of the things that they're teaching them in school. Children in the 5th, 6th grade are being taught about sex, if not earlier than that. I don't know about you all, But when my children were in 5th and 6th grade, the last thing I wanted them talking about with anyone, much less someone that wasn't me, was sex. Education is essential to human development. We have to take hold of the educational reins in our community, in our families, and in our Knesset. And we have to make sure that we are in control of the information that is going forth to our children, our families, and our spiritual families, because it is so key, the things that we are being taught. The other one is arts. That's number 5. Arts. When we look at music, dance, art, painting, all of these different ways that Yah has given us giftings to be able to express ourselves. And under this area, I'm going to specifically talk about cinema and music. Those are 2 areas that we really struggle in as far as this society. We put things out there, images before ourselves and our children. And when I say we, I mean this society, not us specifically, obviously. However, turn on BET, turn on VH1, and sit and take 20 minutes and look at some of the videos. Listen to the messages and what they're saying and the images that are being put on those screens. It is not preaching a message of Yah. It is not glorifying Him. It is tearing us down one moment, one video at a time, one song at a time. They're programming us subliminally through the music. They are giving us messages of things that cause the women to want to be empowered and to move in a way that is not in harmony with Yah. The woman was created as a helpmate. She's to be covered and modest and seeking the things of Yah and not the things of the world. But in these videos, they have women half naked. They're talking about women's movement. I saw a video the other day with Jada and Will's daughter, Willow Smith, at such a young age, and she's singing about women's independence. And then my son made the comment that she's bisexual, and she came out. The girl's like 12 or 13 years old. She shouldn't be any sexual, much less to know whether she likes male or female, which is a spirit. However, we have to really pull back and look at what we're listening to, what we're watching, and what we are allowing, most of all, our children to see and to hear. Music videos used to line up with the message in the song. Today, the video that you're seeing doesn't even make sense with what they're singing, because they're subliminally programming us through the videos, through the images that we're seeing. We're getting one message with our ears, but our minds are receiving something else. If you're not sure, you don't believe it, go to your YouTube search bar and type in subliminal programming. Type in Illuminati and an artist's name, and you will find that many of the people that you're probably listening to and you allow your children to listen to are in the Illuminati, which is a high-power group that controls everything from media to education to religion, the very things that I'm talking about. And there are Illuminati initiation videos that are on YouTube that you can find that talks about these very areas that I'm covering and how they control them, because if they can control those areas, they control us. Walt Disney movies, subliminally programmed. They're slipping in sexual innuendos in the videos as young as our children are allowed to start watching them. Not sure about that? Type in Walt Disney subliminal messaging. Lion King had sex in the clouds when the one lion was laying on the hill. The Little Mermaid has a picture of a penis on the case, and it looks like a castle or a building. There are so many things that we are being taught. We are being led astray. And if we do not wake up Yisrael and come into harmony with the Most High, we will perish as those before us have perished. My heart is really crying out right now, because Yah loves His people so much. He wants us to be educated. He wants us to know the truth so that we can begin to move into it. Disobedience is what got us in the state that we're in, to where we were taken as slaves and brought captive. and we serve in this place that we live, and we're stuck here right now. And if you don't think you're stuck, try to just leave. There's such a process that you have to go through to even take a trip somewhere out of this state or this United States. We have been taught so many things that are against Yah, and it's been a little bit at a time. First they went from the 10 Commandments and prayer was okay in school, and then they began to remove that, and now you can't do this, and if you speak against homosexuality, it's considered a crime. And you know, there are so many things that one little moral at a time are being picked away. The next one is science. And science is important because they teach that there was no creation, the evolution. And so when people get a hold of that theory and they begin to believe that, it separates them from Yah, the Most High, because then they believe that things came about another way and that there was no creation story, which is another video, because there's so much more depth in the first book of Genesis to help us understand how we came about. The last one is government. In the book of Daniel, the king had a dream that talked about government, and he described a statue to Daniel, and Daniel translated that dream for him. That was talking about governments and the governments of this world. And Yah will reign, his people will reign, and it's a biblical truth. It's not my opinion. It's not what I am saying of myself. This is what the Bible says. So when we look at governments in this world, not the United States alone, but many countries, the way that they are ruling is in a democracy. It is not the way Yah Yisrael had his kingdom set up. Those are things that we need to begin to study, that we need to research, and that we need to look at. The 7 areas of human development. Let me recap over those. Economics, communication, religion, education, arts, science, and government. Begin to do some research, people, because until we wake up and we begin to seek the truth and we begin to desire to be whole and to have an understanding from kingdom perspective, as in Yah Yisrael's kingdom and not the governments that rule, we will not have a full understanding of what his plan is. I bid you a blessed day. Shalom, shalom, in the name of Yah Yisrael, the Most High. And I will see you next video.